Hey everyone, my name's Jay Smart and today I'm going to be talking about an animated project that I've been working on, and I'm going to show you some of the things I've done so far for it. Now, there is still a lot of work to do, but there has been progress that has been made on the 3D models that I've done. So the first thing I'm going to show you is a character called Agent White. Now, for this character I've made a couple of models just so I have an option of what I want to use in the final animation. Now, this character was going to be around 6 foot with short black hair and pale skin, and he was also going to have black combat armor with padding on it. Now, I didn't follow that exact description because I did originally draw concept art for this character, and I felt that it wouldn't really feel like it was meant to be in the scene where the final animation is going to take place. And the problem was that it was kind of contrasting with the background environment that he was going to be standing in for the final animation, because it is set in the Sahara Desert, and a character covered in black armor in the desert it didn't look right, and it just looked like he was lost and wasn't meant to be there. So I did modify it a little bit to suit the scene better, and I hope it turns out alright. So this is the first model I've come up with. The first thing you can probably notice is that I got rid of the black armor entirely and actually replaced it with armor that a soldier would be likely to wear in the desert. But I also decided to add a helmet to him instead of making it a normal person's face, as I thought it looked kind of cool myself, and also, as weird as it sounds, it would require a lot more work to create a human's face with the textures of the skin and hair and the eyes and the mouth and the nose and the complexion, and it would be so much more work than would be actually necessary. Now, he does carry 2 guns. He carries a pistol and an SMG, and as you can see, he does have a gun on his back which does closely resemble the Vector SMG, and the reason why I chose that is no reason other than it looks cool, and well, basically that's it, just because it looks cool. Now, he also has a pistol, and here is a picture of the pistol model that he will be using. Now, the pistol is meant to have a silencer on it, but it has not got one attached yet, but I can easily add that later. Now I'm going to show you the second model for the same character. So this is still a character model for Agent White, and as you can see, it is very similar to the first one, but here you can actually see a little bit of skin around the eyes, so you can tell that there is a human under that armor. So that is both models for that character. Now we're going to move on to the second character, and this character is called Locust. And the description for this character is he is 6 foot, he has grey and messy hair, he wears a trench coat, grey trousers and boots. Now, for the first model, I did actually stay quite close to the description of this character, so let's move on and see what I've done for this idea. So as you can see, this one looks very mysterious and evil, and this model also wears a mask for the same reason I talked about earlier, and that is that it takes less work because I'm lazy and I can't be bothered. Now, he doesn't exactly have what you'd call a trench coat, but he does have something that looks very similar to it, and you can see that at the back he does have a bit of material that hangs down behind the back of his legs that is like a trench coat. Now, he isn't actually supposed to have a gun, but the reason he does and is holding it is just so I can see how it looks and how the character model itself actually looks when posed in an action pose. So now moving on to the last character model I have so far. Now, this one is my absolute favourite, and possibly my favourite out of everything I have ever done inside and outside of this project. So let me show you. Now, this is it. Now, you can see this character does have red armor, but it doesn't actually cover his entire body, as if you look closer, you'll see at his neck and at some parts around his arms, you'll see this sort of skin looking material that just gives it this image that he is not entirely human, and that is exactly what I wanted to convey. So that is it for the characters of Conscious Incarnate. I hope you enjoyed looking at that and thought it was just as awesome as I think it is. So now we're going to move on to not the more boring parts, but we're going to move on to models that aren't characters. And the first thing I'm going to show you is the military truck that Agent White is going to show up in. And this is one of the models I have so far. As you can see, it is pretty detailed. You can see it even has the lights at the back and the headlights. It also has a winch at the front, windscreen wipers, the front grille, and other stuff you'll probably never see in the final animation. But it's the little details that count. And that is the only model I have for the military truck at the moment, just because I think it will be the final one that is going to be in the animation. And now we're going to move on to the sort of big one. We're going to move on to the actual desert environment where it is going to take place. Now the first one I've got for you is an oldie. This one I did quite a while back, but I still haven't got around to using it yet. So you can see two screenshots of the same scene there. This one took me so long to make because of how vast and how detailed it is. So now we're going to move on to another one, and this one is a little bit different, but it is still a desert, obviously. Now, there are multiple versions of this one, but again, they are all very similar, and there's not much more to talk about for this one. It's just a desert. I can't really talk about anything else. So this is another one I have. I have quite a lot of deserts, so bear with me here. So as you can see, it does have vegetation. Now, moving on again to yet another desert. I know, how exciting. And again, this one has more vegetation in it, and this one, if you can actually see, I placed a little default character model in this one, just so you can get an idea of the scale of this landscape. Now moving on to the next one, this one does actually have a road in it, as I may want to animate the military vehicle driving on a road rather than driving over a bunch of sand dunes. And that is the final thing I've got for you today. I just want to say that this has been incredibly difficult to do this all by myself, as I'm just an animator. And I normally don't do all the modeling, texturing, lighting, rigging of the models. I normally don't do all of that kind of stuff. So it has been hard to sort of do this. But I did make it through, and I hope this animation is going to turn out incredible. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the stuff I've been doing in my spare time. And I'll see you next time.